Hey, Active Podcast listeners. Did you know for just $1 a month, you can get ad-free and early release episodes of Active Shooter, the podcast? Just head on over to www.patreon.com/activethepodcast and pledge $1 a month and receive a shout out on the show, early release episodes, and ad-free episodes. Now on to today's episode. Speaking of shout-outs, we want to give a huge shout-out to Rebecca Manners for joining our Patreon. We really appreciate your support, Rebecca. Welcome to Active Shooter, the podcast.
After decades now of mass shootings, we haven't found the answer.
A tribute to the victims of two mass shootings.
Thank you for listening to Active Shooter, the podcast.
You are listening to Active Shooter, a podcast that may contain adult themes, explicit language, and graphic depictions of violence. Portions of this show may be traumatic for those under 18. Listener discretion is advised.
There were just a few minutes left in class. A man dressed in black and carrying 2 handguns and a shotgun walked in to the auditorium and opened fire on the students, on the underclassmen. Witnesses say he did not say a word. He just started shooting. About 150 students, mainly freshmen and sophomores, were in the geology class when the gunman walked on stage, standing about 40 feet from the grad student instructor. Then he aimed at the center of the auditorium, shooting at the student.
It was Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2008, just after 3 p.m. at the Northern Illinois University Lecture Hall, known as Cole Hall, located in DeKalb, Illinois. About 120 students were sitting in a class called Geology 104, Introduction to Ocean Sciences, which was being taught by a graduate student. There were many aspiring teachers in the class, as well as a plethora of students who were studying different majors. There was about 5 minutes left in class, and some students were eagerly awaiting dismissal so they could rush home to get ready for Valentine's Day dinner plans. While others were preparing to rush off to their next class, out of nowhere, a man appeared on the stage of a large lecture hall wearing brown lace-up boots, jeans, a black t-shirt with the word terrorist printed over an image of an assault rifle, also a coat and a black knit hat. The man immediately opened fire, killing 5 students and injuring 21 before turning the gun on himself and pulling the trigger. If you've listened to our prior episodes, you know that the Active Shooter podcast team has taken the no notoriety pledge, and we will not be sharing the real name of the shooters that we cover. We will be giving the shooters a pseudonym and refer to them by that name throughout the episode. This will help in clearing up any confusion in the story while remaining true to our pledge and not naming the shooter by their actual name. In today's episode, we will be referring to the shooter as Adam. Adam had entered the lecture hall through a side door before leaping onto the stage and killing and injuring innocent students. He started firing from the stage and then proceeded to walk up and down the aisles of the lecture hall, pulling the trigger. The professor and the students in the front row were, unfortunately, his first victims. Some students reported that they originally thought this was some evil prank. It didn't take them long to realize, though, that this was not a prank and the class was under attack. Witnesses later said that Adam walked up and down the aisles of the hall, calmly and unemotionally, not fazed at all that he was taking the lives of innocent people. It was chaos as people were running, screaming, falling over one another.
Gunshots and you're like army crawling up. I just kept thinking over and over and over, I'm gonna die. I still can't even grasp it. Like, it comes in waves.
Adam started with a sawed-off shotgun and fired all 6 bullets that were loaded into the gun before the attack. When a person saws off the barrel of a shotgun, it makes the bullets travel faster, creating more destruction. Sawing off the barrel also makes the shotgun easier to conceal, which Adam did in this massacre, concealing the weapon in a guitar case.
He carried the shotgun in a guitar case. He had a coat on over top of the belt that carried the weapons and the ammunition that he had, so no one would have seen that.
After shooting all of the bullets, he moved on to his handguns. He had 3 of them with him, located on his person in a holster. Also had a spring-loaded knife. The first 911 call came through at 3:06 p.m. after Adam already killed himself. Just 9 minutes later, the police were able to confirm that the campus was secured from any future threat. Some students were still in their seats when police arrived, literally frozen with fear, unsure what to do. The police and medical providers immediately started tending to the victims and attempted to get witness statements from the students that had witnessed this terrible attack.
I was sitting third row in the classroom, and the guy walked in through the kind of the teacher's exit, just waltzed in there with a shotgun and started shooting people. I fell to the ground, army crawled halfway up, got up and just sprinted, and there was this guy who was shot who was running in front of me, and we just ran to the student center. And then I got on a bus and just got out of there. And when we were out, someone was like, "Keep running, he's reloading his gun." And at first I couldn't believe it was happening, but then I was like, oh my God, I have too much to do in life to die today, I'm sorry. So I just ran. It was chaos. I was on the ground, I got trampled. My back had like bruises on it. People stepped on everyone. You're just trying to get out. Everyone was screaming and running, and it was really scary. I'm not going back anytime soon, I'll tell you that right now. At least I'm not going back anytime next week. I don't even want to go back. I'm scarred for life.
Some victims were shot multiple times and needed to get to the hospital quicker than others. 3 of the students were pronounced dead at the scene. There was just no saving them, and 2 others died later at the hospital. One victim died at the Kishwaukee Hospital, and the other victim died at St. Anthony's Hospital. Of the 21 victims injured, 17 were injured by gunfire, and 4 were injured by ways other than gunfire, such as by flying shrapnel or by injuring themselves while trying to run from the massacre. 17 victims were taken to Kishwaukee Community Hospital, and 6 of the 17 victims were in critical condition and needed to be airlifted to other hospitals. Most of the injuries that the victims suffered were to the head and chest, as that was an open target since the students were sitting at desks.
I was just in the back, I was on the right side, because in the hall there's 3 sections, the left, the middle, and the right. And I was on the right side as you enter, and I was sitting next to my friend. It was like 15 minutes left in class, and I looked down and was ready to get my book bag ready to go, and when I looked up, there was 2 people on the stage. One was my professor and one was a shooter. And I don't remember hearing any gunshots or anything, but I did see a shotgun, and he shot it twice, and by the second time I ran off along with the crowd, and basically dropped my book bag because I was still trying to get it out the door with me, but I couldn't. Ran to the closest building, which was Neptune, and halfway there, I tried to brush my hair, just slick it back, and that's when I looked at my hand, and it was covered in blood. I got hit there's 3 pellets from the shotgun that actually isn't supposedly in my head. They also found that there was just some residue from the shotgun shells, or even possibly the pellets, just around my head area, and even a little bit at the neck. So at this point, I think right now I'm just trying to take it all in. And I mean, you always hear about it. And when it struck at Northern, even then, what if I had missed class that day, and the paper said 14 casualties or whatever the number was? I wouldn't have been one of them. But the fact that I'm one of them, I mean, actual casualty, is like I said, shocking, surprising that, I happened to go to class at that moment and part of the casualty list. Now I know that, it could happen to anybody. Time is short. So, you gotta do your best. Get out there, finish what you can, and just be true to yourself, because, don't change just because something like this happens. You just gotta stay strong.
After each victim was checked out, medics gave them a priority number for transport to make sure that the victims with more severe injuries were tended to first. At 4:10 p.m., the school announced that the campus was closed to complete an investigation. The police had already found 6 spent shotgun shells and 48 spent shell casings after their investigation was just beginning. Adam took the lives of 5 innocent people that day while injuring several more. Each victim that tragically lost their life was just following life's plan and had their entire future ahead of them. until it was so selfishly taken away on that Valentine's Day afternoon. Gail Dubowski was 20 years old from Carroll Stream, Illinois. She loved anything and everything to do with the arts, including acting and school musicals. While in high school, she sang soprano for the Glenbard North High School choir. She had a close relationship with her brother, and teachers commented that she was always making them smile. Gail also enjoyed doodling cartoon characters, something she not only enjoyed, but was also very good at. She was part of the campus ministry, and that previous summer, she worked as a counselor at a church camp. Others described Gail as being a very sweet and genuine person. She died while being airlifted to the hospital. Gail was a sophomore at Northern Illinois University. Juliana Gahant was 32 years old from Meridian, Illinois. She went to Mendota Township High and then went to join the Army. While in the Army, Juliana worked as a military carpenter and traveled the world, even building a school in Tonga, as well as other third world countries. After serving 12 years in the Army, Juliana decided that she wanted to pursue a degree in education. She really wanted to be a second-grade teacher. Everyone that met her fell in love with her. She was kind and mature and lit up every room that she entered. Juliana especially enjoyed watching Dancing with the Stars on TV with her mother. She enjoyed the competition show so much, she took a ballroom dancing class at the university. Catalina Garcia was 20 years old. Her friends and family referred to her simply as Katie. Katie was from Cicero, Illinois, and her parents were immigrants. They came to America to provide a better life for their 4 children, which Katie was the youngest of. While in high school, she was an honor student, ran track, was part of the yearbook staff, and a member of the modern dance team. She graduated from Morton East High School in 2006 and then enrolled at Northern Illinois University. Katie's older brother had gone to NIU, and he enjoyed it, so she thought she would follow in his footsteps. She enjoyed listening to music, dancing, and was described as being shy and very smart. Like Juliana, Katie too wanted to be a teacher. Most that knew Katie knew that her favorite color was pink. No one was surprised when she was buried in a pale pink coffin, wearing a pink ball gown and a tiara.
A student killed at Northern Illinois University last month wanted to be a teacher, so tonight a classroom was dedicated in her honor. Catalina Garcia graduated from Morton East High School in Cicero. She was one of 5 people who died in the Valentine's Day shooting. Today, the town honored the 20-year-old's memory by dedicating a room at the Cicero Community Center in her name. Officials presented her family with a plaque and placed one with Garcia's name outside the classroom.
The community of one of the NIU shooting victims is paying tribute to her. Tonight in Cicero, a classroom was dedicated to Catalina Garcia. She was killed during the shooting rampage on campus last month. A plaque in her memory now hangs at the community center, and her family says it is a fitting honor.
Kindergarten students, which is kindergarten first grade, which is the grade that my sister wanted to teach. Years from now, we'll be able to come here and look at her picture and know who she was, and I believe that is a great step and a great honor for our family and for my sister.
The plaque says, "Live, love, and laugh." The Garcia family says that captures Catalina's spirit.
A special dedication and tribute to Catalina Garcia, the Cicero native killed during the shootings at NIU. Catalina was attending Northern Illinois University, studying to be a first-grade teacher when she was killed by a gunman. Tonight, the town of Cicero dedicated classroom number 1 in its new state-of-the-art community center to Catalina.
It's definitely a great honor. My family, we're humble people. We kind of shine away from the light a little bit, and this is definitely a great honor for my sister, for my family.
A scholarship fund in honor of Catalina Garcia has been set up, aimed at helping students interested in education. Details on how you can contribute can be found on our website at nbc5.com.
Ryan Mace was a 19-year-old psychology major at Northern Illinois University. Ryan was an only child with no siblings and worked hard to maintain all A's in all of her classes. In her spare time, she knitted baby blankets and baby jackets. Ryan grew up in Carpentersville, Illinois, and graduated from Dundee High School. While in high school, she was a member of the French club, which would earn her a small scholarship to the university. Ryan's roommate would later comment how she was always studying really hard, staying up late writing papers, and reading textbooks. On the day of the shooting, Ryan updated her MySpace page, wishing everyone a happy Valentine's Day. Her mom now advocates for what she refers to as common sense gun laws.
I think I've come to peace with the fact that she's gone. And it's taken